Hi, welcome to this week's History with Holly. Tonight, it's raining outside. You can hear the pitter-patter of the raindrops behind me. And I've just finished reading To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I watched the series Life in Squares recently on ABC iView, and it talked about the life of Vanessa and Virginia, Stephen and their brothers, and the way they grew and married, and Vanessa became Vanessa Bell and became a very renowned painter, and of course Virginia Stephen married Leonard Woolf, and together they established their own publishing house, and she became one of the most celebrated novelists of the 20th century, before ultimately taking her own life by drowning herself in the river near their home. And it was fascinating, but it made me think, I haven't really read any of her novels. I've read some of her poetry, and some of her essays, but never her novels. So the one that was available on BorrowBox was To the Lighthouse, and so To the Lighthouse I read. I can't say I love the stream of consciousness style of Virginia Woolf. It's very lulling, so it was good though, because my mood's been reasonably low the last few days, so having that lulling sort of mood kind of suited me. Yeah, it really talks about the family of the Ramsays and the way they change over time, and their family friends that come and stay with them, and Woolf really focuses on the description of the minutiae and the way that builds a sense of place and time. That's how I would describe To the Lighthouse. And the lighthouse is this motif that runs all the way through. And it isn't until the end of the story, many, many years after the beginning, when many of the characters are dead and the children are now grown, and the lighthouse is a motif of this sort of far-reaching light, a far-reaching happiness, goal of happiness that they never seem to achieve. And even when they're there, it's kind of an anticlimactic ending. And I think that's what Woolf was going for. I mean, she was writing during the First World War, or it was published just afterwards, 1922, I think. No, 1925, sorry. Mrs. Dalloway was 1922. I'm going to read that next. But just the way it uses that lighthouse as a motif, and to sort of make us think about the way that time passes, the way that time moves on, and decay occurs, people live, people die. Sometimes it seems right, other times it's just so unfair. Like one of the daughters dies in childbirth. It's just awful. Her mother dies for nothing particular, just an illness takes her suddenly in her early 60s. Mr. Ramsay, on his constant search for sympathy from the women around him, and the painter Emily Briscoe, who refuses to give it to him. His children, Cam and James, who constantly refer to the battle with tyranny, that they'll stand up against their father's tyranny, and how they refuse to engage with him because of that. And it just really gives a sense of life being quite hopeless. And that in the end, decay takes over. And in the end, we never really reach what we're striving for anyway. Others who've read Woolf's work, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're interested in this content and you like my videos, please subscribe below. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next time.